That's another
I've never seen salt sauteed in butter with the topping of chicken.
My gosh, ridiculous. I think that you just wanted to talk about food fails so that you could bring up all mine. So I know that I'm the queen of this, but we're going to talk about food fails.
What do you mean by queen?
Because we both know that in our relationship, you are the chef. You are the pro when it comes to making food and cooking and knowing proper amounts and what to put in, temperatures, etc. It's just never been something I've been strong in. So we're going to talk about, between the two of us, I'm sure I have more food fails than you, but I'll allow you to go first to see if you could even think of one of your food fails.
I got quite a few. I got a lot.
Really?
Yeah. Recently, it's been the sourdough starter. That thing freaking pissed me off.
You didn't, yeah, that's right. But you didn't actually get to the point where you're baking it. It was
no, the starter wouldn't go.
Yeah.
I don't know what I was doing wrong. I literally followed instructions from a book. I followed it online. I followed it from what someone told me. Nothing worked. No clue what happened. That one pissed me off.
You moved more.
No, it's just because it was all trial and error. A lot of my stuff is like when I was making homemade tortillas for the first time.
You didn't fail. It wasn't inedible. Mine have been inedible.
We know that, but I'm saying on my end, I look at, okay, what is restaurant quality and how do I do that? I said it when I was younger, if I could pick 3 jobs, I was like, oh, I want to be a firefighter, I want to be a chef, and I want to be a teacher. I've done a little bit of each of those in my life, but I'd still love to be a chef.
Yeah.
That would be the ideal.
Wouldn't you have to go to culinary school?
Yes, chef. But no, I think when it comes to cooking, it's just I've been very fortunate to have grandparents that's what your world, everything revolves around the kitchen. And there's no question. And even with my other grandma, she's the kitchen is where you make or break.
Well, she's amazing when it comes to cooking.
Well, it's here's a side. And I was like, oh, can I get a bowl of that? She's like, no, that's an appetizer. I was like, but I just want to eat that. They're looking at us like we're crazy. And I was like, no, this is good. It's
amazing food.
But growing up, when it came to food stuff, it's just we would have some called gravy or some called sauce, but the spaghetti sauce, right?
Mm.
And it'll be cooking for a full freaking day, even the night before. And I mean, the pot, I remember sitting in that pot when I was younger, pulling it out and just sitting. It was just a thick steel pot. And it was 2.5 feet deep by that wide. And it would be going all day. The house would smell so good. And there's fresh bread being made. And then you would just sneak a spoonful and just drink it up and then run away.
Mm-hmm.
And then you get stuff thrown at you for being in the kitchen. But that meal, you sit your ass down and you're going to have dinner. The family had a family dinner. There is no question about it. On Sunday, you will sit your butt down at the table and wait for your grandparents. And then they'll say when we could eat. And it was what it was. It was also a weird circumstance because everyone was divorced. Everyone had kids and everyone was living under the same roof at my grandparents' house. So it was a different thing. But I remember when I was growing up, I would take Ziploc bags of that sauce across the street through the alley and you're banging on someone's back door. And they're handing you meat and then you're running across the street and then someone's handing you chilies and you run to another house and then someone's giving you folded sheets and then you run. Totally different culture that I grew up in compared to what our girls are growing up in, but when it came to food, it was no, that's that flat out. And then if my grandmother was cooking, then you have the Italian side from my grandfather. And then we have the Hispanic side from my grandmother. And she's more of the Southwest style Hispanic coming
Mexican.
from, Mexican. But
she is.
No, but from, New Mexico and Southern California and Arizona style, all the roasted chilies, all that stuff. And that's why I grew up on that. I remember being outside and we're roasting bags of New Mexico chilies. You're burning your eyes as a kid, but that I completely remember. And it was, you learn okay, if you're going to touch a chili, don't touch any part of your body. As a little boy, there's certain parts of your body you just naturally touch because you don't think about it. And now you're running around screaming.
Mm.
I think I started failing more with food when we started dating.
Why is that?
Because I really wanted to impress you. So I started reading instructions and I didn't grow up reading instructions. I was like, a pinch of this. When we wanted my grandmother's tortilla recipe,
Well, that could have been solved pretty quickly and easily, but she's very stubborn and
All right, so a little bit of that. Get some of it.
so she didn't want me to know the recipe.
But she didn't know it.
She did.
No, she didn't.
She
My
did.
grandfather was big about like, because when he owned his donut shops,
All
we
you
had
have to
all the
do is like watch her and be like, okay, that's about.
yeah, but you watch her the next time. It's like a palmful. How much is that? I don't know. A palmful. What if you need more? Then you do two. Okay, can you pour that in a measuring cup? No.
Yeah, I mean, you really could.
You could, but then you're ruining her vibe. It's like, hey, grandma, how do you make chili verde? You put some of this and some of that and whatever's in the fridge, and you just saute it, and then you eat the tortillas with it. Where do I get the chilies? The store. Which one? Because those chilies don't look like these ones. I don't know.
No, I could think of when we were dating. What?
Hey, my biggest fail, and it pissed me off so much.
Okay.
I followed the instructions to the freaking T. And because you made a point that someone that you dated couldn't, make rice.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I could make rice. I've made rice before. I make rice all the time. I know how to do it with the water, rinse it, pour water, and you stick your finger and you get through that first part right there. That's how you know how much water. I still do that to this day. I know you measure out, but I just stick my finger in. I was like, okay, my first knuckle is underwater. All right, then that's how much water I use when I make rice.
Yep.
All right. I measured it to exact. I burned the freaking rice. I've never burned rice. You weren't with me. I was trying to do it at home and like make a meal. I was so pissed. Like I was livid at myself because I would make these elaborate meals working at the station and stuff, and like homemade pizzas from like scratch dough, or these anaconda, like we called them anaconda sandwiches. You get the Hawaiian bread, cut it in half. You're having like 4 different types of. It's
Okay, that's
4 pounds.
gourmet.
But then, or we would make the Ernie's. We called them Ernie's because a guy named Ernie had a heart attack after making them. Like chili beans, 2 tamales, 2 fried eggs, cheese, O'Brien potatoes, more cheese. What else do we put? Like diced bell peppers.
I was going to say, none of the meals that you would describe to me that you made there sounded gourmet, especially your constant in rotation pasta salad. That one.
I think it's just a filler food. It was a culture thing.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I didn't feel like they were at gourmet level.
No, like, but when I'm at home, like, we're gonna do, like.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, but you have mastered cooking, I feel, versus me. I'm like, oh, I've seen it made this way, so that's how you make it, right?
Yeah. All right. What's your fails?
Well, I thought of 3, and one of them being the jalapeno chicken recipe I didn't create it.
Oh, you were dating?
Yeah.
I won't forget that one.
Yeah, that was a lot of butter.
Oh, that wasn't it. That wasn't the only thing besides the butter.
Okay, then what else?
The salt lick of chicken.
Oh, well, it wasn't salt. You know what it was? It was
Like the.
I know. No. I'm trying to remember. It wasn't salt. It was the chicken bouillon. That's what it was.
Well, there's salt in that.
Yes, I know, but I wasn't like going,
When you walked away, your mom did, and she went like,
That's another
I've never seen salt sauteed in butter with the topping of chicken.
My gosh, ridiculous. I think that you just wanted to talk about food fails so that you could bring up all mine. But I already admitted.
No, but you know what though? It was you humbly bit into it, and I was like, all right. I'm like looking at you, and you're like, listen.
Yeah. See, at least I admitted.
I know, and that's at least with your food fails, you'll still eat them. I just throw everything away. I just get so pissed. I failed at life.
Well, because it was still, you could still eat it. I would not suggest it, but you could. The other one I thought of was, it was the first. I was really at home, a baby, trying to make meals for you when you go to work because I was going to be at home and making that fried chicken. I think we've talked about it briefly in like a different episode that we've done, but that fried chicken, I did not know the temperature that oil needed to be. I didn't know, like, I know what temperature chicken is supposed to be cooked at, but I don't think we have a thermometer.
I think we bought one.
We got one after that. Well, obviously, we could already tell like how bad that turned out. The chicken wasn't cooked all the way through, and I think it was burned mostly on the outside. So how that happens, I'm not sure. Other than the fact that the oil was probably too hot and the chicken clearly didn't get cooked. And the other one I thought of, this one was even more embarrassing because like at least those, it was like trial and error between you and me. This one was more embarrassing. remember when we went to Big Bear and I told my brothers like that my sister and I would bring food for the day, and I took a pot roast that I had done in the crock pot. And honestly, I do the pot roast all the time for our family. And for some reason, it literally turned out god awful. And I don't even know why. Because like I didn't do anything different. So I'm not even sure why are you smirking like that? No.
No,
What?
just listen.
No, you're not. You're
Just listen.
you're being condescending and you're
I'm
not.
not being condescending because I remember I was behind you and your brothers were asking me to make stuff.
Because they know you're the cook. Exactly. They know. But they're also, my brothers are actually phenomenal cooks. My three older brothers. They really are. They're great at what they do. I should have learned from them, but I didn't have that teacher. And
I just think it's the culture and how you grow up. I think it's the culture that you grew up in because I'm older than them. I grew up in a different culture than they did because no, because my mom like tried when my grandparents told her you need to cook more. We went an entire year on boiled chicken. But my mom thought if you boil chicken and then take it out and dice it and just throw whatever topping on top, then it changes the chicken. I just remember eating boiled chicken and teriyaki, boiled chicken and barbecue, boiled chicken and whatever else. It was so bad. And I remember
okay, but if your mom grew up in this household with all of this Italian cooking and all of this Mexican cooking, and this was like a daily thing, so shouldn't her culture have been that she knew how to cook?
yeah, she's lazy. Like, sorry, mom, but he, she made no effort to learn. Like, it was just a feed me thing where I was
Well,
hungry.
she isn't just doing other things.
Yeah. So like I wanted to learn how to cook. So I took pride in like, all right, how does this taste? What do you add to it? Like, if I have this, how can I make it better with this? And like, and then realizing Italian food is like really four ingredients. Mexican food is really four ingredients. It's just how you,
That's how you prepare it.
but just
Yeah.
still the flavors like between those two. Like, but then think about this, like the last two big Christmases that we had people over and they actually stayed and I cooked.
Hmm.
We had a full spread
Yes.
and
We did.
people did not expect that.
I think that's because society has changed when it comes to different things. Now, not everyone, right? I think that there's been a big shift with how people spend their holidays. And most of the time, if you're going to a party, you're not expecting to be fed, like, unless it's like a sit down dinner, then you're not expecting to be fed like the spread that you had made.
I and I was wrong in not explaining that because to me it's sit your ass down at the table. We're gonna eat.
We couldn't fit everybody that we would like to at that table. There's no way.
I think we have more seats than we need now at our table from who we would like to invite.
Well, then stop making great food and then nobody's going to want to come over.
No one comes over anyway.
Yeah, we have a constant visitor, I'm sure.